Hey everyone, Tony Winston here, Jazz Piano College. And as I promised in one of my recent videos, I am going to spend a lot more time now focusing on rhythm. I have covered harmony for the past, I don't know how many years, and built my channel up to 100,000 subscribers, almost. And I think I'm going to just change focus a little bit, not too much, but rhythm is not my strongest area. I'll be the first to admit that. And I think not only will helping you study this will be helpful to you, but it'll be helpful to me as well. So I thought a good way to kick this off would be George Gershwin's song from 1926, Fascinating Rhythm. And what he does here in the beginning, and I'm going to use some rootless voicings like this for G minor and C. But you see, he takes this 6-note phrase and then offsets it by 1/8 note. So the next time he plays the phrase, it comes in 1/8 note before the beat. So first we're on the beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and. So he's taken this same little motif and moved it ahead by 1/8 note each time. And this is a useful device when you're soloing as well, to come up with different rhythmic ideas instead of just doing da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da 8th notes all the time or whatever. Let's play a little more of the song. And once again, I'm going to suggest, I'm not talking to advanced players now, but for most of us, let's keep the rhythm steady in the left hand like this. Okay? Here we go. That's our first little part. Then we're doing another 2-5-1 in B flat, and we'll play our C like this and our F7 like that. Simple enough. And then maybe we'll change it up a little bit here and go. So let's just throw down that B flat chord. Let's see, how should I do that really? Let's just play like a little fragment of the chord. And I left out that D7 flat 9. Of course, it will sound great there, but it overcomplicates the chord progression. And if we're going to be soloing, we don't want too many chords to deal with. If you're comping, you could, put that D7 flat 9 in as a diminished chord, right? Because D, 3rd, 5th, 7, flat 9. And I hear a lot of discussion here on YouTube about rootless voicings, and I'm guilty of this too, we don't talk enough about the diminished chord being used as a rootless voicing for, say, a dominant 7th flat 9 chord. Okay, so once again, here I am talking about harmony, and we're supposed to focus on rhythm. The next little part here that you don't hear that very much, so just leave that out. And let's make that E minor 7 flat 5, just to keep it a little bit more of a minor 2-5-1, which usually has for the 2 chord a minor 7, flat 5. Then the A7 will be altered usually, so we're going to do it like that. And then for our D minor, we'll just kind of do that little F6 chord like that, okay? So we'll go like, and I wouldn't advise even playing that melody. Maybe we do something like, improvise there. And notice how I'm anticipating that first quarter note. So 1 and 2, 3, 4. And for G7, I again used a 3-note rootless voicing. Sometimes we refer to this as shape 1 or position 1 or A position or axis of the 7th. And there's so many ways of talking about this shape. The full version is a 4-note chord, but we're using a 3-note version of it because it gives you more freedom. There's my C7th as I played it before. And here we have a nice minor 2-5-1. So we've got A. Now, you're in the key of F. So you say, well, how's that a 2 chord? It's a temporary 2 chord. 2, 5, 1. All right. And let me just show you real quick what I'm doing. All right. I really should put the 3rd in there and play it like this. And then that's our D7. And here's our G minor 7. And, maybe we need like a root position chord there just to get us started off right. I don't know, maybe not, but. I don't think we need even though we're right at the beginning of the song, because the root is right here in our right hand, I think you can get away with starting like that. Okay, so we go through that section again, then we get to the second ending. So once again, we're going to put down that B flat chord as maybe a whole note. Okay, you could add the A maybe there. And then we're back to our I don't remember the melody being that way because I always hear it like, with a little blues twist or something, or maybe like that. And so, it's jazz and you're supposed to play around with it, not play it just note perfect. That doesn't mean that you don't know what the original melody is and you're just kind of playing it any old way. You want to make sure you have the melody right in your head and then play around with it. So many of us kind of work the other way. We mess around with it, and years later we discover, oh shit, I'm doing it wrong. Like, for instance, I always play the song and just leave that one C out. I don't know why I do that. I just do. Maybe I heard it maybe I heard it that way. All right, let's talk a little bit about improvisation using a rhythmic idea. And instead of a 6-note phrase, I'm going to use a 4-note phrase and offset that like this. I'll use the original notes just because I'm just doing it that way. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and. So we're going to offset it like that. And I'll do a little graphic to kind of show you what I mean. And, to get the feel of it, we could just use like a scale. I'm using the F major scale here. And what scale was I using there? The B flat scale, right? Because it's a 2, 5, right, in B flat. And it does go to B flat eventually. So that's the rhythmic idea I was thinking about. As we start our journey here, studying rhythm, this is kind of a little bit more of an advanced thing. Now, this offsetting of the idea here, that's kind of a more advanced concept. If you're a newcomer to jazz and you're just starting off and trying to get the feel, we're going to concentrate on the basics. And I'll do a little bit of that right now. So the basic unit on a song like this is the 8th note. And you write them out as even eighths, but you play them as swing eighths, which is more or less based on a triplet.